Ah, there we go. Hello, Grovey. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. This pretty warm Thursday evening. But it's time to get at it again with some more Broke Boys action tier 2, as always. I'm gonna try to make it as enjoyable as possible. Let's hope we get some great action again, like last week. Some thrilling final few laps at Silverstone. Can Wardy go for the back-to-back-to-back win tonight here in at the Hungary? About to find out as qualifying gets underway. There we go. 19 drivers right now. Probably one more joining during the qualifying. But we will see. So, Wardy, our championship leader, leads the championship by 7 points over Jesus in the Mercedes. The next closest car is the Williams of Josh Boschman, who's not racing tonight. And then it's Sean, but they are 30 points behind Jesus. So it's really between Jesus and Wardy at this stage in the championship. There we go. 20 drivers. LAF 5 in the Haas is on an outlap, and he's the first one to do so. Take a look on board. I think they are making their debut tonight. Haven't seen them drive before, so always exciting to see new people, new drivers spice up the grid. About to start his lap, first lap of the night. Let's take a look. Blasting down the main straight and into the turn 1 hairpin. The tricky exit onto another DRS straight, 2 DRS straights right after each other. And then into a very long left-hander. And take the outside line to pull off a move into a fast kink to the right. Then a very quick left-hander, which is gonna be tricky to not invalidate your time on, and that was pretty close. On the edge, don't do a Yuki Tsunoda. Now into this very awkward chicane. Blobbering over the curbstones. And the final, most technical part of the lap. Somewhat 90 degrees corners, full throttle through that one to mark the end of sector 2. Another 90 degree to the right, and 2 hairpins to end of the lap. And let's find out what this first lap time is gonna be. Cross the line for a 1:16.357. That is the banker lap. And Haza is behind right now on the mediums. To try and get close to that. Cross the line, and he does get close to that. Goes quicker by 3/10, 16.0 on the mediums, which is pretty impressive. John D. Soon in the Mercedes. I think another rookie tonight in P2 as Sterry in the McLaren goes to the top with a 1:15.64, tenths of a second quicker than Haza. Still many drivers left to set a lap time. Skoker are about to start their lap as well. The Ferrari. Had a difficult race last time out. Finished no higher than P14 with 2 points, while his teammate Wardy won the race for the second consecutive time. But, looking to improve from that is Skoker. Across the line, Haza improves on his second attempt, still on the mediums, 15.4. Goes to the top, exotic in the Aston Martin. Also in the 1:15s. Down to P4 as S10 Cannon moves up into the top 3. And Boyd is having a bit of trouble invalidating not only his outlap, but his first flying lap as well, it seems, as his teammate Skoker goes to the top with a 15.4, only half a tenth ahead of Haza. But that's a solid start after a difficult race last week. Sean into the 1:14s, the first one to go into the 1:14s, and by quite a distance, 14.7, 7 tenths of a second ahead of the next best car, which is still Skoker. But that's quite the benchmark for all the others. Jesus about to start his first flying lap. Man, second in the championship. Let's see what they can do. Riding on board with the Mercedes driver. .27.2 to start off his first sector, but that's a big snap, a big moment of oversteer as he hit the curb on the inside. The rear end stepping out, so lost a tenth or two with that. Already time to be found on a next lap, but playing it easy on his banker lap. Tolu now across the line into P2 with a 15.0. One more corner. What can they do? Jesus across the line. Can he go into the 1:14s? Not quite. 1:15.7, only good enough for P8. But there's still plenty of time to be found. As S10 Cannon back into the top 3 with a half a second improvement. 15.3, solid effort. He's now ahead of Skoker and Haza. And her teammate Alpha Hype Wall on the lap as well, hasn't set a lap time yet, but is attempting to do that. Hope he doesn't get blocked by the V car up ahead, which is Haza on an outlap, and they get out of the way. Late, but still shouldn't be too much time lost for the Kick Sauber. Rounding the final corner, sending it in. Finding the grip mid corner across the line. 15.5 and into the top 6. Four drivers still without a lap time. Alexis Beast, Primus Storm, Lofty Pickle and championship leader Wardy in pit lane. But Pry is about to start his lap. So looking to change that. Sector 1. Oh, that's a bit wide, but it's not an invalidation. That's interesting. Let me just check real quick if it's on strict. It is on strict, so he's just very lucky with that, I guess. But was definitely not within the white lines, but apparently didn't gain any time off track. So he can continue on and finish his lap. Looked like a very solid second sector as well. Can he try and get it inside the top 5 maybe? Where his current teammate is Spinzy. Have to get low into the 115s, but can he get into the 114s? Maybe not quite 15.3, but still inside the top 4. And that's a solid banker lap from him as well. Now Alexis Beast running just a little bit wide, but no invalidation. Him and Lofty Pickle both on a lap. Try and set a lap time on the board. I am doing the commentary myself. But I get why I sound a bit like Jarmo Opener, because I'm Dutch as well, so Dutch accent still very much present. Lofty Pickle had a big slide going into sector 3. Across the line. 15.2, solid lap time, and into the top 5 behind Gold Samurai. I think just has set a lap time as well, but still nobody can beat the 114.7 of Sean. 1.5 tenths clear of anybody, but Wardy is now on the lap as well. He might be one that can beat the lap time, as he's always strong in qualifying, in the races as well, of course. No doubt one of the best drivers, but he's pulling into the pit lane with 6 minutes on the clock. So not satisfied with his lap, I guess. Gonna try again later on. Dutch F1 manager grinder, very much so. I've played the game a lot. I think a lot is a bit of an understatement. In the last week. Great work on the comms, thank you very much. Always appreciate it. Zero practice, that's what I used to do as well in league races. So qualifying was never my strongest part. Mercedes 15.1, 15 thousandths of a second or 35 thousandths of a second behind Tolu, and as per usual it's very tight at the top. You ignore Sean, who's 1.5 tenths clear of anybody. You can look at the gaps, there we go. 3 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 6 tenths, 6 tenths. Top 14 within 1 second. The 2 cars out on track are the Aston Martins. That was just pulling into the grass for some reason, trying to let his teammate by, who is on an outlap. But alright. One man without a lap time, and it's the championship leader, Wardy. But he is on an out lap again. But this has to be the lap. He has brought some extra fuel with him. You can try to do 2 push laps instead of 1. If he does 1 and gets pole position, that will be very impressive. But what he has shown so far this season has already been very impressive, so be very fitting. But last season's runner-up in Tier 2. Satisfied with the runner-up position though. That's why he's the championship leader. We'll be looking to extend the championship lead tonight. He has some work to do at the moment, down in P20. There we go, 3 minutes on the clock. First flying lap attempt. Nicely hitting the apex in turn 1. Yeah, pretty good so far, sending it into turn 3, and the grip is there. Nailing the first sector so far. Is it purple? It is purple, 26.7. Can he get close to the time of Sean, or can he beat the time of Sean to stick it on pole, just like last week? Throwing the car in, and the car is sticking with him. Absolutely flawless lap so far. Purple second sector as well. Just 2 more corners to go, and this might be the pole lap of the night. Hasler's got very close to the time of Sean, 46,000 of a second. Wardy across the line, and he goes fastest with a 1:14.4, 3/10 quicker on his banker lap. That's very impressive from the championship leader. But Sean, does he have an answer? He does have an answer. 3/10 up in the middle sector, and he might be able to beat Wardy's time, although it will be very close. He is 3/10 behind him at the moment. 8 thousandths of a second quicker in the middle sector split. Can he get it? Sean across the line, and he does go faster with a 1:14.3, and it's a 10.5 ahead of Wardy, who's knocked down to P2, but still on the front row. And he might, and I wonder if he's got some fuel in the tank left to try again next step. Still 1 minute 10 on the clock, so still time left to try and improve. See who's next. Oh, Exotic has had a moment. Lost half his front wing, so he won't be starting any higher than P13 on the grid. He's just looking quick as well in the middle sector. He's down in P15, while his championship rival is on the front row. He's got quite a bit of time to make up. Around the final corner, across the line, and it's P8. Still almost 9/10 off. It's a good effort, but fighting for the championship, not quite good enough. Wells on up. Oh, Todos at the moment, he's gone off track. He won't be starting any higher than 5th on the grid. Skoker about to cross the line. Can he improve? P13 at the moment stays P13, not an improvement, and the flag has fallen as Alpha Hype Wall goes to P3 and Spinsy up to P4. Next up is Brian into the top 3. He goes with a 14.6. Dallas is starting last in the Aston Martin, as Lofty Pickle into P7 slots in behind his teammate. Both McLarens are not able to improve. Is anyone else on a lap? Gold Samurai into the top 7. Agenti has invalidated as well, so only the 2 Mercedes. Jesus has already done his lap. His teammate though goes into the top 8. And I think that is qualifying over, and that's Wardy has got an improvement. He's got an improvement, but not quite enough. 44 thousandths of a second. It was very, very close. But it's Sean on pole position here at the Hungaroring. Wardy will line up on the front row still in second place, and these two are quite a bit ahead of the rest. Primer Storm in P3, 3 tenths behind. Alpha Eyeball with a very solid qualifying as well. P4. Spincy, I think, on debut as well in P5. Very impressive, ahead of Haza. Gold Samurai. Jundi Soon. Lofty Pickle and True Sterry in the McLaren, rounding out the top 10. Behind him we'll find Tolu and Jesus in P12 in the end. Ahead of this man right here, Alexis Beast, in V13. P14, a second behind 10th Cannon. Skull Killer down in P15, not a great qualifying again. Exotic in P16. Agenti 17. Hunter in 18th. LAF in 19, and Zelas in the Aston Martin will start the race from last position on the grid in P20. Qualifying is over. Time to get ready for the race in a few minutes time. Three minutes to be exact, and it's looking very sunny at the moment, but I've seen messages in chat that it's possibly gonna rain. Saw that last week as well in the Silverstone, and in the end it did not rain during the race. So we'll just have to wait and see. Weather very unpredictable. Let's see. In the meantime, let's take a look at the championship once again. Ferrari is leading the championship ahead of Williams and Mercedes. 20 points back is Sauber, and a further 20 points back is Aston Martin in 5th position, ahead of Haas, Red Bull, Alpine, McLaren, and RB are down in 10th position. Only a couple points behind McLaren though. But in the overall constructors, I think it's still Alpine on top, ahead of Williams and Ferrari. And Williams and Ferrari are separated by just 1 point. So even if Ferrari is leading the Tier 2 championship, overall they're very close to each other. Every single point matters. Consistency is very much key. We prepare ourselves for round 5 of the season. It looks like it's going to be raining right at the end once again. So it's going to be the question if it arrives or not. But I'm almost up for a bit of rain, a bit of spice, a bit of chaos. You'd love to see it. And it's time to go ready. There we go. 10 seconds before we get this race underway. Here we go. There we go then. 5 red lights are on, and if they're out, we are on the way, and it's to go out very quickly indeed. And Sean has a decent start on the hards, has a very good start on the hards, and immediately gets the advantage over Barty. And P2 is dealing with the two Alpines going through each other like they did in real life a few years ago. Oh my god, that's 4 wide on the exit. It's with the RBs and the Alpines are fighting it out, and Spinzy's losing out quite a few positions because of it. Alpha Ball is going wheel to wheel with Samurai. Oh, there's a big moment, but he saves it. Doesn't go into the wall, but loses out. 3 positions down to P7 he goes. Sean, though, has kept the lead with a very strong start ahead of Wardy, who is on the mediums. Then it's Samurai, who has gained a position or 2 on the mediums as well. Primer Storm on the hards as well. Let's take a look at the tires, actually. A bit easier. So 3 drivers in the top 10 on hards, and the rest of them all on the mediums. And outside the top 10 we find a bit of more drivers on the hards, and it looks like everyone has made their way through the first lap without any spins or anything. Tent Cannon losing out quite a few positions, going a bit wide as well. As Jesus down to P14. It's not a great start for him on the mediums. Possible race strategy, medium hard or medium hard, medium I think. But if the rain comes, it might be totally different. Sean out in the lead, ahead of Wardy, Gold Samurai, Primer Storm fighting it out with... Lofty Pickle sending it up the inside, bit of contact. It's Haza actually, both RBs getting past the Alpine. And Tolu is into the wall in turn 3, and he's stationary in the Haas as Hunter is retired in pit lane. So it's all kicking off at the start of lap 2. As my headset just died, it always does at the most random moments. Yellow flag shrouded in the second has had an issue as well. LAF has got a bit of grass on the tires, so had a bit of an excursion into the Hungarian grass here. Sean has got Wardy right behind him. That's quite a bit of a gap to Gold Samurai, who's trying to fend off the RBs. It's almost pushing him through the corner. Right on board with Lofty Pickle. Meanwhile, Wardy's got the DRS, and he's going to go for a move on the inside into turn 1. He is sending it up the inside, and that's job done. Into the lead, although Sean with a better exit. But Wardy has the DRS for the second time. Meanwhile, Lofty Pickle has found a way past Samurai. And now he's in an RB sandwich. While Primer Storm is trying to get past the other RB of Haza. Very close to the back there. Going a bit wide as well. As I think there's been an issue for Agenti in turn 3. It's dropped down to P18. Down in front, Sean is managing the gap to Wardy and staying within the DRS crucially. This is the most important thing when the car in front is on another strategy. The quicker tires. Sean very much still has the DRS and is deploying a bit of ERS. Closing the gap to Wardy. Up the inside into turn 1, that's a big send from Alpha High Wall. And ooh, doesn't leave much space to Primal Storm on the outside. Ooh, now it's the inside line into turn 3, sending it up the inside, contact between the two and forces Alpha High Wall out of the way. Not pleased with that move into turn 1 by the Sauber, and takes the position back. Now push Alpha High Wall back into an Alpine sandwich. When Ryan Exotic has had a moment, I think. Down a position or two, P14 it is. Does have company from 10th Cannon though. Having a little look on the inside, that's starting to stay behind for the time being. Meanwhile at the front end, Sean once again a bit closer than last lap. And they're both deploying the ERS, but Sean is gonna go up the inside into turn 1 and wheel to wheel as Sean retakes the lead on lap 5, but Wardy will have the better exit, but does not have the DRS. So Sean back into the lead on lap 5 as Alpha High Wall fighting with the second Alpine tonight. And Spinsy looking to go the long way around the outside. Is there the space? The space is not there. Alpha High Wall showing Spinsy the door, and that creates an opportunity for Yundisun, who has a massive slide on the exit of the left-hander, but is up into P8 and ahead of Spinsy. Exit speed's rounding out the top 10, but as Jesus very close behind him. Oh, and he goes off into the wall, and that is front wing damage as well, reversing back onto the track a bit dangerously by the Red Bull driver, but he got onto the curb and spun straight into the wall. And that is your race ruined in an instant. Wardy and Sean fighting out once again as Gold Samurai makes contact on the main straight with Primal Storm. Still keeping staying on the inside. Oh my, oh. I thought he saved it there, but hit the wall anyway. And I'm not sure if he's got damage. I think he has a Gold Samurai contact with Primal Storm and is now down to P13 with a bit of front wing damage. That's unfortunate for Williams in their fight against Ferrari, and he spins off, overcorrects it, keeps it out of the barrier though, but it's all falling apart for Gold Samurai. Was fighting for a podium position 1 week ago. Tonight it's not looking to go his way. Down to 17th position, and he's not the only one having troubles. The Haas of LAF has spun in the chicane, facing backwards. But at the front end, Sean has created a 1 second margin over Wardy on the hard compound tire. That's very impressive, especially when the medium should be quicker in these opening stages of the race. Send up the inside. Wheel to wheel once again. Alpha High Wall into the wall. Goes Primal Storm in the same fashion as Gold Samurai went last lap, making contact with this very same Primal Storm. Speaking of Gold Samurai, he has retired in pit lane, but I think he doesn't mind seeing the Alpine into the wall. And with front wing damage as well, it's all kicking off here in the Hungaro ring. And that's not the line you need to take. Half a front wing, it's not very surprising. Oh, what's going on here? Exotic getting completely forced off. Alpha High Wall into the wall. What is going on? Absolute carnage. Looks like his wheel disconnected or something, because he did not turn and the safety car has been deployed, rightly so. Alexis Beast has left, Alpha Wild has left. What is going on? But Wardy is pulling into the pit lane. Lofty Pickle as well. Hasa staying out. Yuli soon going in. Spinsy going in. Jesus going in. Twisteri going in. Skokiller going in. 10 Cannon not going in. Alpha Wall's been disqualified from parking in a dangerous location. That brings our retirement tally to 4 after just 7 laps of racing. Only 5 drivers deciding to stay out. Agenti, Zawa, Stent Cannon, Haza and Sean. Wardy is behind those last 3. P4 is on track on a fresh set of hards. His teammate Skokiller has gone for a fresh set of mediums. So that's interesting to see. Might be predicting some wet weather later on. Or he started on hards and had to go to mediums or softs. So a possibility. Either way, we've got our first neutralization in this race. I think we didn't have any last week in Silverstone. But now after 7 laps, we got a safety car for retirement. So very different times compared to last week. 10-second time penalty for Agenti for ignoring yellow flags, pulling into the pit lane as well. Hopefully he's going to be able to serve his penalty at his pit stop. If not, it's going to hurt later on, and he can serve his penalty. So good news for him and Williams, even though his teammate is already out. Sawas is also pitted, meaning we've only got 3 drivers now on the alternative strategy. Is the safety car coming in at the end of this lap? I think Agenti will be able to close the gap to the field. There we go. Safety car in this lap on lap 9, and we will resume racing on lap 10. Still 26 laps remaining. As Wardy is going to decide the pace. Sean is going to decide the pace. And there we go. Green once again in this race for the second time. Alpha Balders left the session, but Sean is leading the way ahead of Hasa and Tent Cannon. All 3 of them have stayed at Wardy, aggressively trying to warm up his tires on this safety car restart. Behind him is Lofty Pickle in a pretty good position as well. Now is Tent Cannon gonna put up any fight to Wardy in the Ferrari? But to find out, as Wardy is much quicker than the drivers ahead. Already having half a look at the inside, but the chicane is really not an overtaking opportunity. Neither is this corner after, but still just having half a look on the inside. But deciding to stay behind for now. as Sean is already creating a 1 second gap to Haza. Is working in his favor in his fight against Wardy. But Wardy doesn't have to pit, while Sean does, so we'll have to build a massive gap in order to still have a chance of winning this race. DRS enabled, and here comes Wardy on the outside of Tent Cannon into turn 1 on the main straight. Tent Cannon slots in behind the Ferrari, and Wardy is now back into the top 3. And he's already having a look at Haza, and he's got past Haza as Haza has gone wide in turn 1. And Wardy now into P2, 1.6 seconds behind Sean. Really the ideal restart for our championship leader. Already a massive train forming behind the V-carb of Haza, still on his old mediums. I'm not sure why he decided to stay out on these mediums. The hards are understandable, but the mediums, questionable decision. The way he's under pressure from Tent Cannon. Oh, and there's contact between Tent Cannon and Haza, and Lofty Pickle has been sent into the wall because of that, or not, apparently. Back ahead of Tent Cannon somehow. Just gonna ignore that. That did not happen. Lofty Pickle though. Now ahead of Haza into turn 1, up at the P3. Tent Cannon trying to go for the move as well. Very close. Bit of contact as well between the two. Oh, that's a bit more contact between the two, and Tent Cannon almost getting forced off track. Not much space to work with. Hyundai Sun has gone round the outside, taking both of the positions while they are still going wheel to wheel. More contact between the two. It's all kicking off between Haza and Tent Cannon on lap 12, and they've both lost out as a result of it. Going off here in Hungary. That's a send up the inside by Tent Cannon, still trying to find a way past, and the usual contact is present once again. Trying to go around the outside, of course that's not gonna work. Oh, having to slot behind, but now we'll have the DRS to try and finally get ahead. That's so close for contact as Wardy has taken the race lead on lap 13. Wardy has got past Sean into turn 1, as now into the race lead on track. Meanwhile, Spinzy fighting it out with Haza, and Haza and Tent Cannon are fighting each other so much that they're losing out multiple positions. Oh, and there's contact between Sterry and Prima Storm. And now they've lost out multiple positions. Oh my goodness me, the McLaren has completely been sent off track by the Haas, and decided to back out while going wheel to wheel with Prima Storm, which is a very smart decision. Very smart decision. Yeah, but you can never know what happened when you go wheel to wheel with Prima Storm. Always a bit dangerous. Anyway, Tent Cannon finally got ahead of Haza after a couple of laps. It was not an easy task. They lost a lot of time in the process. Now we're going to be having a look at the back of Spinzy. Meanwhile, Haza is going to have to look behind him once again. Skullkiller gets past quite easily on the back straight and up at the P7. So quite a good comeback so far from Skullkiller on the mediums as well. So we'll have the quicker tire through this stage of the race. Prime Storm finds himself once again in a battle. Oh my goodness me, don't try it around the outside there. Asking for trouble. Contact left, right and center with the RB. Sean is just outside of 1 second margin. After the DRS. No, he does not. So Bardi on course for a third consecutive victory at the moment. Into turn 1, McLaren up the inside of Prime Storm. And Zawa's also able to get past. What's happened to 10th Cannon? She spun on the exit of turn 1. Did she make contact with someone else, or did she lose it on her own? I'm not sure, but she's now down to P15, and it's a disastrous race at the moment for Kick Sauber. Are looking pretty solid in the championship. P4, but won't score many points today. Looks like. P15 right now. It's just only one singular point. Ooh, almost contact between Zawas and Prima Storm. Haza finally pulling into the pit lane on lap 16 will put on a set of hearts to make it to the end of this race. Anyone at the front end, Bardi is still leading, 2 second advantage over Sean. Here we go then, this massive midfield fight once again. Pry on the inside, of course there's contact with Pry on the inside. Wouldn't expect anything less. Zawas is still there, and Pry is able to stay ahead, but Zawas' teammate Exotic is now having a go around the outside of Prime Storm, and that's not going to work well. And it didn't, because Exotic is off track and hit the wall. I'm not sure if he's got damage. Didn't seem like too big of a hit. Wheel to wheel into the chicane. Very great idea by Pry and Zawas. The latter is now fighting it out with Tolu, and off track goes Jesus in the middle of this contact between all three of them. And Agenti now ahead into P12. 10-second time penalty for Pry for corner cutting and gaining one position. Yep. Yeah. Let's leave it at that. Lofty Pickle now into P2. Has found a way past Sean, who is struggling on these hards. And he will be, as their tires will be deteriorating at this rate. 17 laps already be done on them. Coming into the pit lane in a few laps time to put on, oh my goodness me, oh, Pry is out. That's honestly a massive surprise. And it's out with Zawas on the second straight. Collision, crash into the wall, DNF for both of them. Virtual safety car has been deployed, and we've got ourselves a second neutralization in this race. Hello, Vinci, welcome. Ooh. Sean, this is great news for Sean. He had to pit at some point during this race. I think it's a little bit early though to put on the minis, but I don't think he has much of a choice. He's putting on a set of soft, so he is anticipating on the rain. And it might be coming then. You can't make it on the end on the softs, surely 18 laps, not doable on softs. And it actually is a bit overcast right now, so he might be right. There might be some wet weather in the clouds tonight. And one driver who's being very confident is LAF, who's put on a set of intermediates. It's not raining just yet, but he thinks it's gonna be raining very, very, very soon. Still, I think that's a bit too early to put on the inters, and I think he'll wear them out quite a lot in the next few laps, unless it starts pouring down in, well, right now. I think the virtual safety car will end very shortly as well. Tent Cannon, Exotic have also put on a set of softs. Oh, it's actually a full safety car. The game is lying to me. It's a full safety car. Thanks for showing the virtual safety car. I thought it was a virtual safety car, but that explains why quite a few drivers have pitted then. But full safety car for the second time in this race. It's quite the gamble to stay out on these hards, especially when Sean has just pitted for a set of softs, but he's down in P7. So he's got some overtaking to do, but it's getting cloudier and cloudier, if that's a word. More overcast, the clouds are coming out, the rain is coming. Still 16 laps to go. That's one way to warm up your tires, Tent Cannon. Aggressively weaving. And this also explains why LF went to the intermediates with a full safety car, so a bit more time before the rain starts going. But I think it will go in at the end of this lap, the safety car. And it's still not raining, or is it? Not yet. Not yet. We'll be keeping an eye out on the weather. A big part in this race. Already got 6 DNS. Might become even more if it starts to rain. Said I was up for some rain and some chaos. We've already got the chaos, and the rain is yet to fall. Anyway, safety car in this lap. This time it is Wardy leading the field and deciding the pace, and trying to get some temperatures in his hard tires, which is very difficult on this game. He's making an effort. Try and get any heat into the tires, but he's almost going off track, and now he's going on throttle but losing his car. And now he's slowing down again. Ooh, not sure if that's allowed, but that's that was a bit controversial there by Wardy, but we're gonna ignore it for now and let the stewards look at it after the race. Anyway, he's leading the field ahead of Lofty Pickle. Then Unisoon in the Mercedes in P3. Very good job from him so far. As is Spinzy in P4, another rookie. Sean has already found a way past towards Cherry in the McLaren up into P6. And let's now have a look at Wardy's teammate. Let's see if he's going to play any part in this race. Oh, massive slide from Sean. I'm not sure if he's got hit from behind, but he's finding a bit too much grip on these softs at the moment. And look how much traction he got out of that chicane. He's up the inside of Skoker, surely not round the outside. It does work around there, and that's a beautiful move from Sean up into P5 on his way to charge to the front of the field. Wardy's already created a 1.3 second margin over Lofty Pickle. and he's been followed by the Mercedes and the Alpine, and Sean has closed the gap already to these guys. The rain is not falling yet, so LAF is struggling right now on these intermediates. DRS has been enabled, and when is Sean gonna make his next move? Very soon. Finding the grip mid-corner on the exit. Is he gonna have to go on the inside or the outside? He'll have to go around the outside. But look at the grip. Like he is standing still. Sean up into P4. Another great pass. Another great move. And yet another position gained. Our previous race leader. Oh, big moment, and I think it started to rain. At the inside once again, and Sean is now into the podium positions. Doesn't have the exit though, but oh, getting squeezed off. Squeezing the Mercedes almost off track, but eventually he gets the job done. Not without contact though. And the rain is there. It has arrived. Will take a while before the inter start to be better. But Skullkiller thinks it's immediately time for the rain, for the intermediates. Pulls into the pit lane as soon as the wet weather arrived. Got Arbon as an engineer though, so he must know what he's doing. Barty. His advantage to Lofty Pickle has shrunk down to 0.4 of a second. Starts to get slippier and slippier out there. Still, the intermediates not quick enough yet. LAF still losing time. Cars in front, I think, or is he? Actually, pretty equal right now to Exotic ahead. Might be the turnover point. Well, he doesn't think that though, he's staying out for another lap. Lofty Pickle as well, and Sean, but Hyundai soon. He is coming into the pit lane. Don't lose it, don't lose the back end. And he's not the only one. Tolu in the Haas coming in as well. And Jesus, so a double stack for Mercedes. Will lose a little bit of time with that, but he thinks the intermediates are the better tire at the moment. Already fighting it out with Lofty Pickle, is having a look on the outside, trying to switch it now. We'll have to go the long way around the outside into turn 5. Surely that's not gonna work. And it doesn't, he backs out of it. And Wardy stays ahead for now. Meanwhile, Sean has now completely closed the gap to these two. They do want to be on a soft tire when it starts to rain. So he definitely has the advantage at the moment. At the back of the Visa Keshep RB. And it might have been actually a pretty good goal then from LAF, who was 3.5 seconds ahead of Jundi Sundi. 3.5 seconds, and he's rapidly closing the gap to the cars in front. Well, rapidly, he goes a bit off track there, but he is closing. And Barty, Lofty Pickle, still staying out. And Sean is into the pit lane. Sean is going for the gamble, going for the undercut with 11 laps remaining. And he's the first of the leading group to pull into the pit lane. Now everyone else behind is pulling into the pit lane as well. 10-second time penalty for True Sterry. That's suboptimal. He puts on the intermediates. And where is LAF going to come out? Well, there we go. He's up ahead of Sean. And he might be into a virtual race lead once Wardy and Lofty Pickle come in. That's absolutely incredible strategic masterclass here by the rookie in the Haas. 18.3 seconds is the gap. Let's see if he's able to close it a bit more. Intermediates are certainly faster than the slicks, and I'm sure Wardy and Lofty Pickle will come in at the end of this lap. LAF already under pressure though from Sean, and Sean will be looking to get past as soon as possible, because I'm sure he's so much faster than the Haas out in front. Wardy is still staying out, while Lofty Pickle now comes into the pit lane, so Wardy, the only one still out there on slicks. Not sure why. Intermediates are clearly the faster tire. At the moment Sean is very stuck behind the Haas, but now on the main straight deploying ERS, still got the DRS open, still enabled, and on the inside on the main straight Sean up into P2 and potentially into the race lead. DRS has been disabled. That is usually the sign to come in and pit for slicks over intermediates. Going off in the background is Spinsy, and LAF has just lost another position down to P4. 17 seconds the gap between Wardy and Sean. I'm not sure why Wardy is still staying out, because look how fast that gap is shrinking, and Wardy might be throwing away a win here today. Quite an easy victory is getting thrown down the drain by our championship leader. Look how much time he's losing. Was 17 seconds a few moments ago, is now down to 14 seconds. Finally he's coming into the pit lane, but the damage has already been done. I don't even want to imagine where it's going to come out. Probably around the McLaren of Twooch, Terry in P7, that could be. Not everything's not lost then, but I think his win is well, going to be out of reach. Oh, and he's coming out behind this entire group of cars. I think he is down to P8, P9, P10. Our championship leader down in P10 has got a lot of catching up to do. He had to catch up a lot last week as well. This time he's a bit further from home. Got 10 Cannon and Hassa again ahead, and these two have been going at it all race so far. They found themselves on track. Once again, Hassa with an optimistic move on the inside of Tolu, and now 10 Cannon is having a look as well into chicane. That's gonna be awkward, and she backs out of it. Just a pretty clever decision. Oh, bit of contact between Jesus and Agenti almost getting forced off track. Jesus getting the job done up to P11, and the next car up the road is his championship rival Wardy, and I didn't think he would have expected that in this race. He's been fighting outside the top 10 for pretty much the entire race. Now Wardy is in P10 and he's in P11. Nine laps to go, and Sean has got a pretty comfortable lead over Hyundai soon. 2 seconds. Lofty Pickle in P3, Spinsy in P4, LAF in P5. Let's see, he's got a 3-second time penalty, but the car behind him, Twooch Terry, has got a 10-second time penalty. Asa and Tolu, 3 seconds, both of them as well. They're all struggling for traction. Sliding around. Oh, very close to contact, and off track goes LAF, keeping it out of the barrier but losing out to both the McLaren and the RB. Down to P7 and now right ahead of his teammate, and his teammate's gonna have to look on the inside. The two Haas drivers wheel to wheel in the wet, and Tolu getting a bit forced off there. as 10 Cannon lets Wardy by. So Wardy now up into P9. Going completely off track this time is Elia. And his strategic masterclass is becoming undone, unfortunately. Down to P14. Here comes Wardy on the main straight on the inside of Todus, not leaving much space, but Wardy is going to go for it regardless. Into turn 1, Todus still on the outside. Eliav has retired from the session, making it only 13 runners at the moment, and still Skoko is down in P13 and last position. But he's got points, and that's what matters. Tolu has got 10 Cannon now for company. Asa now up into P5. Coming a race of attrition right now. 7 DNFs. The top 15 should be scoring points, but P14 and P15 are not scoring points, as Sean has got himself a 3-second time penalty. He's going massively off track. He's had a big moment, Sean. And the gap to P2 is down to under a second. And that 3-second time penalty is gonna hurt him. He was such in a comfortable position to win this race. But at the moment it's falling away from him. The gap's down to 1 second. And he's got to extend it by a further 2 seconds. In only 7 laps time. And Lofty Pickle now up the inside into turn 1. Gets the position. Gets the job done. And let's see. He might be in a good position to win this race. And Cannon up into P8 with Tolu around the outside though. Nice move by the Haas, hanging on, still wheel to wheel. On the exit, 10 Cannon gets the traction and the position up into P8. Now we're looking at the back of the McLaren up ahead. Meanwhile, Wardy has found his way into the top 5, but the gap to P4 is over 4 seconds. He's got quite a bit of work to do. Sliding around, and oh, what has happened to Tolu's had a big moment, round to P12. Lost the car there, I think. Has promoted Jesus up into P9, but it's not been the day so far for Jesus. As 10 Cannon trying to go the long way around the outside of the final corner. That's a beautiful move. 10 Cannon up into P7. Getting past Tour Sterry. With a perfectly executed move around the outside. And now Jesus is under pressure from Agenti. And Exotic is now going for the switchback on Agenti successfully into the top 10. Ryan Exotic with a good move. And at the front end, Lofty Pickle very close behind Sean, and Sean's win is slowly fading away because Lofty Pickle is right there with him. He doesn't even need to overtake the Red Bull with that 3-second time penalty. Surely not on the inside. One moment I thought that Lofty Pickle was going to send it into the penultimate corner, but he's so close to the back of Sean, who is sliding all off the place. Another look on the inside. Red Bull just able to stay in front of the RB. Wardy's not really making up much ground to Spinsy as 10 Cannon is, because she's now up into the top 6. Yet another move, finally got past Hasa, who she had quite a bit of trouble with earlier on in this race. But she's got the move done, and into P6. That will be an impressive finish after starting down in P14. So a great comeback drive so far. Sean is all over the place in these conditions, and at one point I think Lofty Pickle will be able to get past. Very close to the back once again, deploying the earrings, and this time he is going to go for it on the main straight, pulls to the inside on the right hand side of the Red Bull, and on lap 32 out of 35 Lofty Pickle takes the lead of this race on track and is now on course for his very first victory in Tier 2. A big moment for Sean, but he's got 3 seconds to the car behind. So a P2 at the moment. Gonna be where Sean is gonna finish. Needs to keep it on track though. Not lose out too much time to Yundi Sunni. .5 is the margin between the two, and Spinsy is close to the back. Wardy is now finally closing the gap. 10th Cannon is pretty quick as well, and they're all slowly catching up to each other for that final spot on the podium. Three laps to go in this race. Lofty Pickle with a comfortable lead now over Sean. Still got a big enough margin to the Mercedes, who's under pressure from the Alpine. Then it's Wardy and 10th Cannon, also pretty close behind, but I think just a little bit too far back to fight for that final spot on the podium, unless they really start fighting in these final couple of laps. Eight positions gained for Lofty Pickle. It's been quite a chaotic Grand Prix, but it's been a great race to watch. High drama, high a lot of chaos, and now it's actually been pretty calm since the wet weather arrived. It was more chaotic in the dry. So we move on to the penultimate lap of this race. Big slide coming out of turn 1. And they're all close behind now. It's a four-way fight for the final spot on the podium, and Spinsy is having a look on the outside, but I don't think it's gonna be possible to go for it. Wardy now on the inside of Spinsy, and that's Yuni Sundi with not an optimal exit, and Spinsy trying to find a way past, but it's not easy to overtake around here. And they're all desperately trying to get this podium position. Sean is pretty safe with his P2 at the moment. 5.5 seconds is the gap. But all eyes are on these 4 drivers. With only 1.5 laps remaining. Who's gonna take it? Spinzy's gone wide and now Wardy's up the inside. Bit of contact between the two, and Spinzy, because of that, is able to stay ahead. So bit of a controversial move there by the Alpine. And in the meantime, Sunday is able to create a bit of a gap to these guys. Albeit has a massive slide on the exit of the penultimate corner. So move on to the final lap of this race. Lofty Pickle leads by almost 3 seconds now to Sean. Then it's Sunday, Spinzy, Wardy and Tent Cannon, who is close to the back of Wardy, who's had a moment, I think. Gap is 1.1 to Spinzy ahead. Final lap of the race. Is he going to go for it up the inside into turn 3? Oof, not quite. Oh, but Sunday goes very wide. But still is able to stay ahead of the Alpine. And gets the traction out of turn 3. Oh, massive slide from Wardy's on a big pressure from Tent Cannon. But there aren't many overtaking opportunities left on this lap. Wardy unable to get past. We'll have a look now on the outside of the penultimate corner, but still not quite able to get the job done. Meanwhile, Lofty Pickle around the final corner. Lofty Pickle from 9th on the grid is gonna win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Incredible drive from the driver who was P16 in the championship, a reserve driver after all. Sean comes home in 2nd place. Sunday takes the final spot on the podium with a very good debut drive. Spinzy on debut in P4. Tent Cannon in 5th position ahead of Wardy, who crashed across the line and down to P6, just ahead of his championship rival Jesus. So after all that, they still finish right behind each other, with Jesus in P7. What a race that it's been. It's been quite chaotic. Driver of the day has been given to Tent Cannon, rightly so, from 14th on the grid to P5. Incredible drive, also an incredible drive from this Lofty Pickle. P9 to the race win. A stellar performance in the RB. Here we go, and with the final result, Lofty Pickle wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Sean from pole position could not convert it into a race win, has to settle for 2nd. Sunday on debut, finishing in P3. Incredible performance as well for Spinzy on debut. Tent Cannon 14th to P5. Wardy at P6. Championship leader does get the point for the fastest lap though. Jesus, his championship rival, from P12 to P7. Asa in P8 ahead of Agenti. And Orion Exotic in P10. Skoker in the end, finishing in P11 ahead of Tolu Toursteri in P13. And the last of the finishers and the last of the point scorers has LAF, as did not finish the race and therefore will not get these 2 points. But that's been it for tonight. Been an incredible race. Loads of action. Carnage in the dry, in the wet. Incredible racing. You love to see it. Anyway, next week we will return to Barcelona for round 6 of the season, the Spanish Grand Prix. That's it for tonight, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.